What's up? What's going on? You know, true. Somebody asked me the other day a question about sex in a marriage, inside, outside of a marriage, but more in a marriage. And a relationship is not a marriage. So that's what we're gonna do today, and we're gonna take it straight because it was more about a Christian marriage. What somebody was trying to find some answers to the intimacy part. What to do, what not to do, what about if you're not having sex, and how are you tempted? So I'm going to read a couple of things that I took notes on because I took the liberty of doing the research because it was a great question. Kind of caught me off guard, but that's a good thing when you're open to find an answer. Find out answers to something that you, in other words, a person can present a great question that will pique your curiosity where you go find out the answer to you for yourself. And so that's what I'm going to be reading from the notes that I took. And it's, y'all are welcome to correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not trying to be right. I'm just trying to see what the word says about this particular question. And so it says physical intimacy. Yeah, a lot of people don't know what that is, so we'll get to that later. It's out in my notes. It's a part of God's normal plan for marriage, and a husband and wife both have responsibility to fulfill each other's needs. That's, of course, if ain't no physical or medical condition that would make you say, or she say, or either one of you say, that would prevent y'all from having sex. We're gonna call it having sex, because physical intimacy, I probably get tongue-tied on that. So bear with me. So in a relationship, in a marriage, a lack of sex should be agreed upon by both parties. You know, and that should only be for short periods of time. Now, it's not, God didn't say make it last forever. That's a Keith Sweat song. So a sexless marriage is a cause for concern. I mean, again, ruling out, ain't nothing wrong with either one of the parties. And let me see, I'm reading from notes. So God say the first thing to do if you're not having sex in a marriage is to pray. Pray for wisdom, mercy, and grace to help you in your time of need. It's always good that you take care of your own house before you try to correct somebody else's house. Therefore, if you feel like your partner is wrong for withholding, then you just pray to God to reveal what you may be doing to cause the problem first. And I pray for it to see if you are the reason. And then God will answer your prayer, provided that you are willing to listen. See, that's the thing. We want to pray, but then we can't hear. So therefore, we can't receive, even if the answer has been given quickly. You have to have the ability to listen, to wait, to trust, to know that the answer is coming, not your way. The thing is to stay out of your way. You can't answer your own question because you can't answer your own prayer because that defeats the purpose of praying. You get it? So, okay, should the spouse, the one that's deprived, should you find out, you, the one that's complaining, that you're not having sex, that it's because of you, then you gotta confess. Like, you find out it's your fault, that you're the reason why sex is being refused, then you have to confess that to God and your spouse. And then you gotta take steps to fix it. So, what did I just say? I say, should you find out your boo-hoo woman that you're the reason, then confess it to God, then confess it to your spouse, and then start the process of taking steps to correct it. If you do that and your spouse still withholds, then you gotta continue to pray. This is what God said. I know it's the hardest thing in the world to do because you're gonna be feeling some type of way, but the question that was presented to me was, what am I wrong for this, or would I be wrong for this? So I took the liberty to go and find it and see what God says. So I know, because you gotta just pray daily. And when you're praying, you're asking for the grace to love unconditionally. And then you gotta trust God to do his work, to do his magic, as y'all say. Now this is gonna test you in all kind of ways. According to the Bible, it's called the test of faith. And it's gonna be the hardest thing you ever do, because you gotta keep your mouth closed. You got to you really got to believe that you will have sex again. you just accept the fact that you're the reason, and you just keep to it. That's all I can tell you. It's hard, but you gotta keep to it. Now, don't keep it to yourself, because communication is essential in order for this to work. Do not keep it to yourself. Like, well, I'm just gonna pray, because you're gonna block God's work. So you make sure you talk to your partner about it, and gently try to purvey the fact that you get the point that it was you're the cause of the lack of sex or physical intimacy, if you will. So that is the first step. And just remember, it's going to take time. It's going to take a whole lot of patience to wait on the Lord. But you got to keep your eyes on the prize so that you can rise above this little small problem. That's how you got to look at it. Like a small problem that can be fixed if you correct your behavior. That is the power of faith right there. If you believe and you accept it as you get out your own way. You get out your own way, and you believe the power of God is way stronger than your will or lack of will. Then all problems will become small, and that is essential. Very, very essential to success. That will allow space for communication. Space is another thing. Space. Just because you want something doesn't mean you don't embrace space. Because you have to, it's not just you. It's both parties. So take that into consideration if you want to be successful in fixing a very small problem. This is part one. I'm finna go eat, and then I got some more notes, because we get into the step by step. Well, at least remember, I took these notes, so I don't know everything, but I now sure know how to start to. It helps me. So, true. I'll be back after I eat.